Okay, here we go. Saturday, 3rd of September, 8:30, ready to set off for the Alps trip. Ready to set off to meet Dave at Banbury. And yeah, so far it's looking like nice weather, so that'll do nicely. Okay. Okay kids, see you in a couple of weeks. Ta-da! Okay, here we go. Well, this has been a bit of a nightmare to try and find. And there he is. And there's his bike, which I haven't seen before. Somebody's trying to set fire to it with a cigarette. Right, so 2 miles from the tunnel. Junction 11A, this looks like it might be us for the tunnel. Hello.
Yeah.
That's got me driving licence in as well.
That's fine, mate, just your passport. Yeah, they're bomb-proof, aren't they, these? They just go on forever.
Need the address for the B&B. The others were fine, all the other British ones. Better than the...
Thank you. This is the B&B hotel, so it's literally taken us, well, I don't know, probably less than 5 minutes, which is absolutely spot on. Okay, here we are. I've just arrived at the B&B hotel in Calais. This is my room. Okay, and let's go and have a look, see what the shower's like. Yeah, reminds me very much of when we stopped in before. Looks like a caravan shower to me. But yeah, it's just, what time is it now? It is 8:15. We've unpacked, got all the luggage in and everything here. And so I'm hot and sweaty now, I'm ready for a shower. I don't know if I'm going to go for something to eat. I've got some cereal bars with me. I'm tempted to just wander across to McDonald's, but you've got to bear in mind it's actually 9:15 local time. By the time I've been to McDonald's and back, having had a shower first, it's going to be getting late. I don't know if I want to be bothered or not. I'll see how it goes when I've had my shower. Packed up, ready to go. It is 7:45 in the morning. I'm sounding like Itchy Boots saying that. And I've just got to get all the stuff to the bike now and load it on. What does it say in here? Due in at 5:18. We've got 227 miles to go. Today, I should say, the hotel, what the Lodges Hotel de l'Europe, and a very nice hotel it was too. We had a lovely meal last night outside on the street side, and ready to go now. Look at that handsome chap, ready to go and get packed up. Good. Ditto, because now I've got the plug phones in. I'm hopefully keeping out the wind noise, but I'm also pumping the sound right into my lug holes. So you are very clear, very, very loud, which I've had to turn you down. Well, that was a nice little coffee stop, and it's been 29 degrees, so we were glad for a break. And but it took us some time. We must have gone 3/4 of an hour to an hour without finding anywhere, so it's been a bit of a struggle, but well worth it now. And we're about halfway between Langres and St Claude. I reckon we should have another couple of hours, put us there about 2:30, and then hopefully we can find some trails to ride. Well, here we are. We are now in, where are we? St Claude. We were going to do a trail, as I probably mentioned. We're not going to do that because it was no vehicles. It had a sign at the bottom saying no vehicles, and it was getting a bit late, so we thought, do you know what, let's get to the hotel, let's get showered and changed and have a beer and a meal and bed and all that, and then we can go and look for the trail tomorrow at the other end. But do you know what, I'm beginning to wonder if the other trail that I'd planned, which was a 35-mile trail, might be just too long. I can't.
High Alps, that'll be it.
Distance to destination 181 miles. So, left out of the gate. It's not one way, is it? No. There we go, quick coffee stop, 11:45, Tuesday, 6th of September. I'd like to be able to tell you which town this is, I haven't got a clue. Let's simply say it's halfway between St Claude and Briançon. We probably are about halfway, I would say. This little restaurant is going to do us a coffee. It's not really supposed to open until 12, so he's doing us just 2 black coffees. I'm told that I've got to develop a taste for it. I believe that when I see it. Just riding along this valley bottom, we're not that far from Annecy, but we were struck by the scenery and the fact that it's so like the Dolomites in places. Just a little bit behind us now, fortunately, I can't really show you, but the rock formation is very much, if you can see that, very much. I'll try not to crash, and yeah, it's warmed up a bit as well. It's about 26 now, so hopefully we'll gain some altitude and get a bit cooler. I suppose that's what it's more or less going to be. We're at McDonald's and we're somewhere. We're definitely somewhere. Actually, we're not that far from Briançon now. I would guess probably 40 miles. Bikes are parked up there. And Dave's just gone to pay a visit, and then we're going to have either a coffee or a cold drink and then something to eat after. Folks, this is coming up from Valois and the Col de Telegraph. We're climbing up to the Col de Galibier. Look at that for a view, that's amazing. Okay, we have just drawn in to the Hotel Impossible, having dropped off the Col de Galibier, gone into Briançon a little way to find somewhere to stop, to put the address into Dave's sat-nav, because my blooming sat-nav won't take addresses or postcodes. We've rocked up here. It's not looking very encouraging at the moment. It's open clearly, but nobody in reception much, and we're both hoping that there's a restaurant, because we don't fancy walking, I don't know, half a mile into Briançon, but let's just hope. I can hear Dave talking now, so we'll keep our fingers crossed. We booked in at the hotel, but unfortunately the hotel has no restaurant for the 3 days that we're here. Looks alright, there's no bar or anything either, so we've just come literally short distance down the road and we found a Pizza Hut type place, proper, I don't mean Pizza Hut, I mean a hut that sells pizza. You got my drift? Anyway, Dave's ordering the pizzas now, we're going to have a pizza here. The chap who runs the hotel is leaving us some beers in a bucket of ice, so that's going to be nice and cool for us. And that's it essentially, so we're going to sit here now, have a pizza, and that'll do nicely, as they say. Folks, I don't know if you can hear me because I've still got my helmet on, but wow, what a view, and what a trail up as well. We've had a wonderful time. It's not been, well, it's been that, see that there, that's what we've had, all the way up, a bit up and down, a bit sort of what you call roller coaster wavy, but a bit loose, but not bad. I don't know how one hear this because of the wind, but we've just come down that trail. Very pleasant, not at all difficult. Loose and stony, but not tricky. Fantastic clouds in the valley there. Look at that. You feel as though you're flying almost. We're at the end of the Col de Asietta, and we can't go on because the remainder of the pass is closed, so we can't get onto the Finisterre. But what we are going to do is we're going to go down this other track, which, according to the map, takes us down to the main road. So we're going to go down there, which goes into the clouds, and then we're going to get back to the main road and see what to do from there. Bright. Okay, so TET Italy, section 2. We're just about at Bardonecchia, a stone's throw. In fact, I think we've come into the outskirts of it, and we've just started on this section of trail about 100 yards ago. It's certainly looking very tricky in places. We've just come up a hell of a steep climb. Let's just see what happens. Everything forward and trust in the Lord. Yeah. Now, if I'm honest, I would rather that it was dry and dusty like we had yesterday. I'm not keen on this. Agreed. I'd like to do more of what we saw Doktor Traktor do. I watched a bit more of his video last night, and it was nice and open and stony and dry and dramatic views like we had yesterday. It was cracking. And he did start from Briançon on one of them, so I'd assumed it was this. Out of, well, essentially Briançon, I suppose. And there's the Himalayan parked up over there. Two bikes have got ahead of us by the looks. That's a Honda Africa Twin 750, the older version. And then next to it is a Kawasaki Versys, and as Dave just said, they've done well to get up. There's my Himalayan, there's Dave's CRF. And as you can see, it's the top of a ski lift. And so we've plodded our way up today. It's been more challenging than yesterday. I wouldn't say it was desperately hard, but not a doddle either. Quite tight turns and a bit slimy and a bit muddy after last night's rain, but nonetheless quite doable. But yeah, a beautiful day again after some overnight rain, and this little cafe is lovely. Where they're lying down and the girl says, "That croc was going to eat me alive today, wasn't he?" And Mick Dundee is lying down with his hat over his face and says, "Well, can't hold that against him. Thoughts crossed my mind a couple of times." This is a little bit more Doktor Traktor-ish, I think. This, folks, is again a separate track now, separate from the one we've just been doing from Briançon. We're somewhere between Briançon and Ulx, spelt O-U-L-X, I think. And it's gone nice and stony and dry and powdery and dusty rather than slimy and mucky and horrible like the other one. So this is a bit more like we were doing yesterday, which is good. And we're at the moment, we're at just a little over 4,000 feet, 4,029 feet. This is a lollipop loop, as I've called it, because it is in the shape of a lollipop. You go up the stem, circle at the top, go around, come back down the stem, and then back to the main road. So it's a road to nowhere, but it's not just simply a there and back. It's up, round and back, and that makes it a little bit more interesting. When we set off on this trip, this was exactly the sort of off-roading that certainly I'd had in mind, I think probably Dave as well, where it's not the sort of thing that you can just ride without thinking about it. You've got to concentrate a bit, sometimes more than others. But there's virtually nowhere in it that you think, oh, I don't know if I can do that. There have been a couple of times when we've stopped. In fact, this morning, before I started filming, we got to the beginning of the section from Bardo, and it was really steep, and this little Fiat Panda came down, and we thought, look at the neck. And it was really steep, and it looked quite slippery and muddy and horrible. But once you'd taken a run at it, it was okay. But you know, again, you had to concentrate. We both thought it was going to be slippery, slidey mud, and thankfully it wasn't. It was damp and it was muddy, but not in a slippery sense. So that was great. Here we are at the top of the Lollipop ride that I was telling you about from Bardo. Unfortunately, we've had to come to a grinding halt. Let me show you why. No motor vehicles. I can't read the Italian to you, but I can tell you that we can't go any further. We're not overly bothered because it's a Lollipop loop. It's not as though we can't get through to the other side. This is just to go round in a loop and rejoin the stem of the Lollipop. But it is a bit of a shame. The trail's been good. It's not been the hardest of trails. So, and it's been very pleasant. We're about, did I say 6,500 feet? 7,000, something like that. In fact, I'm going to have a look now and see if I can show you on here what we're at. I don't know if you can see that or not on my sat nav, but it's 7,614 feet according to Starfleet records. So that's it. That's us for now. We're going to just turn around, go back the way we came. And truthfully, as Dave says, it won't make a lot of difference, because if we'd have gone round the other side of the loop, chances are it would look pretty much the same. If we were trying to get from point A to point B over the top of the pass, over those mountains up there, then yes, you would be disappointed. But essentially it'll look much the same. It always looks different going the other way anyway. So, well, it's fait accompli anyway, isn't it? So that's what we've got to do. Here we go for the Finistray. This is the other end of the Asietta route that we did yesterday. We couldn't come this way yesterday because it was apparently closed. We're going to find out if it's opened again, and we've got a feeling that we don't have to carry all the way through to the Asietta. We might be able to, we don't know. So it's really just a question of seeing what happens. Right, everything forward and trust in the Lord. I'm pretty sure this was one of the first videos that we saw Doktor Traktor do, so if I'm right, it'll be interesting to see what this would be like on or how a Moto Guzzi V85 TT copes. Sounds like a school, perhaps. Training school. Don't thank us then, don't worry, that's fine. No, we don't mind stopping. You carry on. Did he? Oh, well, fair dues, I take it back then. This little engine's amazing. I've just looked down and I'm just on a shade over 2,000 RPM in second gear, pulling away. I won't say perfectly, but happily. Amazing. How about this, folks? This is the top of the climb of the Finistray. We're now back on tarmac, as you can see. What a view. Yet another time to say, what a view. Wow. Beautiful. Or as Itchy Boots would say, stunning, right? Absolutely brilliant. Whether we go back to our on-surface stuff or not, we're not quite sure yet, so we'll trickle along here, see what happens, and where it was to join up with the Asietta, I'm not sure. Calais Asietta. Dave and I did this yesterday, but my GoPro 10 that's on the helmet had a flat battery, so I didn't actually get to film it on the 10. So I'm hoping now that you're getting a better view of it. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Hello there. Yes, the Africa Twin and the Kawasaki Versys. I wonder if they went to Sestriere afterwards and came the opposite way to the way we're going now then. Just so that we know, boys and girls, this is the Col de Vars. We've just stopped for coffee, back on the road towards St Martin Vesubie, and we're having a nice ride around all these hairpin bends and enjoying the scenery. Look at that, that's just beautiful. And because I didn't say it before, welcome to Italy. This is the descent off the Col de Bonnet, travelling in a, well, southerly and easterly direction. It's absolutely superb views, stunning scenery. Look at this. But my goodness, it was cold up on the top. It's been raining. I've had to put my full waterproofs on, much as anything to keep warm. But the sun's come out again now, thank goodness. We've been up to, I don't know how many feet, over 8,000 feet, and it's been really cold. It's been down to about 9 degrees, I think. So the jacket was not just to keep the rain out, but to keep me warm as well, and my over trousers. But, just look at that. Absolutely fantastic. If you detect a degree of, how can we say, not very happy or a bit tired, I'm probably tired. But we've rocked up again, we're here for 3 nights. We turned up again this afternoon, 4 o'clock. No restaurant, although rather there is a restaurant, but guess what, the restaurant is closed. We're here for 3 nights. The restaurant, or a restaurant, is 10 minutes up the road. Now we're hoping that means 10 minutes walk, because I really don't want to get back on my bike and walk again. The room is lovely. I mean, I have to say, let's just show you the view from the room. Very nice. And let's go over here where my window is open. It is a beautiful view. Let's just stick that out there and show you. It is very nice. The location is gorgeous. Bed looks comfortable. But you know, when all said and done, it's not aircon, is it? No, just a light. When all said and done, okay, this room, these 2 rooms, have cost Dave and I £80 a night each, plus 83, I think. It's 250 quid. It might be 250 euros, but I think it's 250 quid for the 3 nights. And there's no restaurant. And that doesn't include breakfast. And breakfast is another 12 euros. I'm not very happy. Bloody hell. This is a climb we're doing up from Tende. It's a part surface, part unsurfaced trail up to supposedly some forts. Track 12, as I've marked it on the map. It's been very rough in places. This is the first opportunity I've had to put the camera on. Steep, tight, rough, twisty. Apart from that, it's fine. Those are the forts, folks, that we talked about earlier. I was just saying to the camera, Dave, that those are the forts you might just see over in the distance there. Looks like a big pillbox on the side of the mountain. And again, we're blessed with stunning scenery. It's the hardest climb we've done so far, I would say, and the worst surface. It was very rough and rocky and bouncy. Obviously has been a road in the past, but not maintained for quite some time. It's really just terribly deteriorated. But not bad now, so we think we're probably close to the border between France and Italy and dropping down again. Oof! Which is good, because the poor little engine's got very hot at the top of the climb. It was right on the limit of the red section on the oil temperature gauge, so hopefully it'll be cooling down a bit now. Bouncy, bouncy, certainly giving the suspension a good workout. Now this is a bit more like the forts that we thought we were going to be coming into. Don't know if you can see. Oh, let's just sort this out. I can't get through there. And on the display on the sat-nav you can see a big black line, and I'm guessing that's the Italian border. Yep, I got you. Yeah. Let's go and have a look up here. Wow, impressive, very impressive. Some kind of bird diving over there by the fort. What a view, look at that, absolutely outstanding. But we're climbing a little road that was supposed to be surfaced according to the map, and it's turned out to be unsurfaced, which is an absolute bonus. Unusual, because on a map it shows the unsurfaced roads as a dotted line, and this one wasn't dotted, so we've gained a bit. Nice. There are some seriously impressive views. We're dropping down now to a place called La Tour, and it's been lovely. I would say now, time-wise, I don't know distance, but time-wise I would say we've done 50-50 unsurfaced and surfaced. And the surfaced has been bumpy all the way down. So I think it's fair to say the bushes on the forks and the rear shock are probably well bedded in now. Not quite a balcony road, but noticed coming down this trail, or this road, pass, there was a red fire engine or ambulance, whatever, and then up above us at the moment is a helicopter, a yellow helicopter, mountain rescue presumably, and that's a trail, Dave, that is shown on my map, but I don't know if it goes anywhere. It says it's a dead end, but here we are, look folks. if that's coming into land or taking off. I presumed it was coming into land, but I don't know. Yes. Well, according to my display, the grey turns into white soon. Yeah, it's shown a change of colour on here. I suspect that it's... I think so. It's Monday the 12th today, and we've climbed the Col de Lombardie. We've just stopped for coffee and seen this cracking waterfall. I mean, it's not dramatic, it's not amazingly impressive, it's just very, very pretty. Look at that. So, time for a quick coffee. Let's have a quick look where we're stopped. This is Isola 2000. We've been discussing why it's 2000 earlier. Is it to do with the altitude, or whether it was built in 2000, or to celebrate, I don't know, something like the Olympic Games? Don't know. But yeah, time now for a coffee. Now then, boys and girls, here we are climbing up from Isola 2000. Look at this for stunning scenery. We're really close up to the cliffs and all that scree. Absolutely brilliant. Beautiful day again. Stunning, in fact. And the place we had coffee at was a ski place, but you can see why over there. It was a ski station. Yeah, no, I know. Getting to them as well. I don't know where they start from, Dave. There's nothing on my display. Yeah. Look at that. Crikey. Don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that, Dave. That's extraordinary. That's not even like the Alps, that isn't. That's, I don't know what it's like. Climb up to the Col de Bonnet, but not by the main road. This is a little road which we're expecting to become unsurfaced soon, and we're just working our way up. We started at 4,000 feet at the bottom, and we're already at 6,992. 7,000 feet as near as damn it. 3,000 feet climb. What about that for scenery? Just look at that. So yeah, we're hoping any second now it will go unsurfaced. Let's wait and see. Just look at this scenery. Absolutely stunning. We're trying to get down to that track down there, we think, because it follows its way all the way around and goes up over there somewhere, although actually I can't see where it goes to after the bit that you can see. The magical mystery tour. It's very bright. You can see a motorbike coming down. There's Dave going off up in the distance there. So here we go. Let's see if this is the one that we saw on that video. There's a blokey on a BMW 1200 GS, I think. And here's one coming towards me, in fact. So that can't be bad, can it? Today compared to when we came up a few days ago. It was miserable and cold and wet, and we had to put waterproofs on. By comparison, look at this. When I came up here with Sue one time, we saw marmots. Don't know if we'll see any today. Might do. You'll see it with the sun coming straight into the lens, but I've done a little ride out on my own from Barcelonette. Dave's a bit saddle sore, so I just used Calais Moto to find me a little 35-mile route for an hour or so. Unfortunately it's just to there and back. That really doesn't matter, but it's been stunning scenery. I've done nothing but climb. I've climbed about 3,000 feet in let me tell you how far. Filled up with fuel in Barcelonette, so we'll have zeroed. Yeah, I've done about 13 miles, if that, probably a dozen miles. And it's been smashing. Really lovely. I mean, you can't really fault the scenery, can you? Scenery, just look at that. It's breathtaking, isn't it? And look at that in front. This is in the area of Barcelonette. Nothing behind us, so I can take my time. Isn't that beautiful? Alright, here we go. Look at that. Outstanding. Brilliant. Right, I better head off back to the hotel, I think. Well, folks, here we are. This is my room in the hotel. I think it's the Cheval Blanc, which I think Edgy said was, what did I say, it was White Horse. Anyway, here it is. This is a big improvement on what we've had for the last, in my opinion, the last 3 nights. The other hotel was very nice, but this is much more what I'm about, and you'll see why in a minute. It's got an outside, have a look, it's got a view of the street, and that's rather nice. Let's just have a quick peep outside to show you. And there we go. Nice little square, typical stuff. And what's even better is that there is garage parking downstairs. So that's good. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get out of these clothes, have a shower, go downstairs, have a beer. That's the primary concern. And then we'll have a meal, possibly at the hotel here, although Edgy tells me it's quite pricey. €23 for 2 courses. I'm not so keen on that, but there are other restaurants around. So we might go for that instead. This is a bit of a bonus ball for us. The main road to Vanardio, which we were going to travel down today, has closures on it, and one of the closures was until 10 o'clock. We've got a half-hour slot between 10 and 10:30 where we could have done the tarmac. So we would have had to have waited quite a while, probably half an hour or more. Anyway, Dave spoke to one of the workmen in a van, and he said, oh, if you go back down the road a little way and turn off, there's a track that you can use instead. This is that track, and if you look, you can see in places that it's a tarmac road that's just been left to deteriorate. See little bits of tarmac in places. When we set off, the signpost said Col de l'Arche, which is what the main road should have been, and it said 26 kilometres, which quickly calculating is about 15 miles. So 15 miles of this, if it's like this, it'd be great. This is a real bonus. We've come to a bit of a problem. This is the route we were told to take, the track, but we've come to this point, and the track, as you can see, let's make sure that the camera is pointing in the right direction. The track has got this barrier across it, and it's also got a sign, and it's to no vehicles, no motor vehicle sign. Don't know. We just don't know. So watch this space. This is the Col de l'Arche. Mistakenly, I always thought it was the Col de Vars. Perhaps I either misheard somebody, or I was just misinformed. But a while ago, this was the pass that Mr. Crossland followed Sue and me on. We had a really spirited ride, as he called it, at the end. It is all just squirt and grab, clog and anchor, as he likes to call it. It's very impressive, some smashing scenery. That is one heck of a view, isn't it? Yeah. Let's see if I can get a photograph on the still camera for that. First time I came up here was with Sean Henderson. We were leaving tyre tracks in the snow. Certainly need some concentration, so I better not look at you. This is all repaired now. This was all, well, unsurfaced, shall we put it that way. When I came last time with Sue, it was like doing off-road. So things have improved. I passed a cyclist back there. He was sort of waving his hand about as if to say it's going to get rough. I was expecting it to be worse than that, to be honest. Yes, I thought so, you buckers. Get on your own half. Stopped for a quick Coke at this lovely retreat, and the German Vespa Club are here by the looks. Young lady that served us our water and Coke was absolutely delightful, and they've got a lovely it's a type of shepherd dog. I can't remember what the name exact, but his name is Beethoven, as in the composer. How cracking is that? Absolutely brilliant. But it's time to get a move on. Go on, baby, up you come. And then whilst we when we get to the bottom of this mountain pass, we should hopefully find somewhere for fuel. Right, here we go. This is a climb up to the Col d'Agnello, or Agnello. Morning folks, this has been my room for the night last night. That was Wednesday, today's Thursday, the 15th today. I didn't do any filming yesterday because when we set off it was chucking it down the rain and I didn't really think there was anything worth filming. It only rained for a couple of hours, so we were quite lucky. Stopped in Briançon for a coffee at McDonald's, and by that time it had just about stopped. So it wasn't such a bad ride. We did go over the Galibier, but you've seen the Galibier already earlier on. So we stopped here in St. Claude, which is near to Geneva last night. This is the Jura Hotel, the Panorama Hotel restaurant, and it's fine. It's not the most fantastic of hotels. It does what we need it to do. Today we're going to move from here up through to Langres, stopping in the same hotel that we stayed at the time before, and then the day after that we'll travel from Langres up to Calais, and we'll stop at the B&B Hotel in Calais. Just a quick look at the room. It's pretty formulaic. It's nice, don't get me wrong, it's very pleasant and a nice shower and stuff, but the only snag really with it was this. It's close to the street and therefore it's been quite noisy a lot of the night. Not majorly so, but certainly earlier on. The view out of the back, I'm hoping you'll see a photograph that I've taken out of the restaurant, and that was beautiful. Right, time for breakfast and then get loaded up and onto the bike.
Leaving St. Claude now. We've got about 134 miles according to Garmin and 144 according to Calimoto, so one way or another. We've got about 150 miles to do, probably about 4 hours. Leaving St. Claude, heading towards Langres. We're lucky today. We were expecting rain and we haven't got any at the moment. So far, so good. Fingers crossed. Very different sort of look to the place today compared to when we saw it last time. With always low cloud. Quite atmospheric in more ways than one. All good. Well, we've arrived in Calais, so just a question now of waiting to be told to start your engine and then we can go.